IDM differs from access management. Courtesy of IDMchecklist.com from Informatics. Identity management, or IDM, and access management, or AM, work so closely together that sometimes their different responsibilities become blurred. At a high level, there shouldn't be any confusion as identity management is focused on authentication, whereas access management is aimed at authorization. However, what is the difference between authorization and authentication? Authentication is the process of determining if the person or entity is genuine. Authorization is the process of applying policy to permit or refuse access to an authenticated body. Therefore, we can say that, number 1, IDM is responsible for authentication and nothing more. It creates the identity or account and tries to assign the identity to a relevant category, group, or role, but without control of its authorization. And number 2, access management is different as it only applies access policy, which it enforces on the groups and roles. It has no role in authentication. So, where does the confusion arise? Identity management. An IDM system provisions an identity, or creates an account, at the beginning of a process, and deprovisions the account once it is no longer required. For example, this can happen when a person leaves the company or a smartphone is lost or stolen. IDM assigns attributes to help it classify people or devices by setting them in a group or a role. For example, an accountant might be placed in the finance group with the role of accountant. When creating the identity or account, IDM will also stipulate the method used for authentication, which could be a password, biometrics, or a passkey. Access management. Proving an identity, however, is not much use on its own if there is no assigned authorization. Access management, therefore, is responsible for creating and enforcing authorization policy. Access management provides granularity, applies and enforces access policy. IDM creates, provisions, and manages identities. It also assigns them attributes, groups, and roles. Access management, however, is responsible for assigning those attributes with authorization and permission via an access policy. They both work closely together to provide Identity Access Management, or IAM. The confusion appears to arise with acronyms being repeatedly voiced interchangeably. There appears to be no common consensus on IDM, AM, and IAM by vendors and experts. Has your firm experienced confusion between identity management and access management? Let us know your thoughts in the comments box below. And to follow through on the tips introduced in this short article, be sure to download your free copy of the 8-point Identity Management Checklist. You can download a copy of this checklist while it's still available at IDMchecklist.com. Thanks so much for stopping by and tuning in today to learn all about how IDM differs from access management.